hit the record button now. I know you were pretending earlier. So, my sister record said about the good, the bad, and the ugly. My dad said that. The good, the bad, and wherever the ugly just went. So, Carla, excellent job. You were a true rose between two thorns. Isn't this nice? Dan and Brian dressed like two Flintstone push pops tonight. Look at all these Hawaiian shirts. I feel like I'm at a Trader Joe's right now. So, we have to thank Vince and Debbie Pecchia from Galaxy Industrial Services. They are not here this evening, but they do sponsor everyone living with MS so they can attend the event for free. And as my sister said, the staff here, they do an excellent job. They've been great partners throughout this whole process. And the morning setup crew, this evening volunteers, and we have the board, the special acknowledgement board. It highlights all those people who donate their time, services, supplies, and or monetary donations. So, little change of pace here. This night's about our mom, and I'll get to her. But first, I'm going to start with our dad. Obviously, he's not here tonight, as many of you probably noticed. So he's been having trouble with his speech over about the past year or so. And basically has difficulty communicating what he would like to say. And so large gathering, he's just really struggling to be comfortable in. And really even family gatherings at times, he shies away from talking. And I think honestly it's because Ryan makes fun of him. And which, I mean, could you imagine making fun of someone with a speech disorder? I just don't get it, but where's Mr. and Mrs. Snyder? There they are. I guess that's why you have more than one kid though, right? Am I right, Mom? You just keep going till you get one that you like. And that's a joke for all you youngest siblings out there. So our dad was a college professor, so he really made his living by speaking and communicating. So again, he's been just having some challenges with it. Now, we're gonna find out how good of a sense of humor all of you have real fast here. So those of you that have talked to our dad last year, you do know this. Those of you that haven't, you might be saying, Brent, what are you talking about? He can't communicate. Well, our dad sounds like a car engine trying to start in the winter. So, oh boy. Tough crowd out here tonight. You might not like where the rest of this is going to be going. So, if our dad was going to say thank you, like we would say thank you. Not our dad, he says, thank you. So it takes him a long time to get out what he's trying to say. Listen, I wish my dad was here. He would be rolling at this stuff. He laughs so hard at these jokes at dinner. So last week I asked him, I said, Dad, what are we going to tell people why you're not here? They're going to ask. And he says, tell them I have, I don't know what he wanted me to say. He still hasn't finished the sentence. But no, what he wanted me to tell you was he has what's called aphasia. So it's basically a disorder that affects portions of the brain responsible for language. And he's had a lot of neurological, oh boy, I must be doing real bad. They're out of here. No one else get up and leave. This is good feedback, okay. All right, so let me gather myself here. Where was I? Okay, so he's been going to doctor's visits, he's been having scans, he's been having neurological evaluations, and like I said, the initial diagnosis they believe is that he has aphasia. So I told him, I said, Dad, it's aphasia. It's not leprosy. Like, this is not contagious. I said, but if it is, why don't you go over there and sneeze on Samantha? Anything to get her to talk less? So, oh gosh. Our dad's had a couple neurological evaluations. I just took him recently, a couple weeks ago, to the Cleveland Clinic. And Steph actually said, Brent, what'd you talk about? That's like 3 hours. I said, I asked him how his day was, and it took 3 hours for him to tell me the answer. So, where's Jeanette? Jeanette. Okay, so Jeanette came to the house. Jeanette's a speech pathologist, a college professor as well. So she came to the house and did a thorough evaluation. These evaluations are like 2 to 3 hours long. And he also had the one recently at Cleveland Clinic. And while he was there, while she was there, our dad likes to have us now at appointments, doctor's visits, evaluations, whatever it might be. He likes to have one of us there. And so he asked me if I could come with him or come over to the house for the evaluation. I said, sure. So Jeanette's going through the process, and she's asking him some questions. So she would say, ask him, and then he would give his answer. So every question she asked, every question, he looked at me for the answer. Now, this is a guy that taught 36 years, a college professor, has zero academic integrity. Every question she asked, he looked at me for the answer. Asked him a question, looked at me for the answer. So finally she said, Ed, how are you feeling today? He looked at me and I said, like a cheater. So then the next part of the process here is she pulls out this flip book, very common images. Animals, figures, numbers, shapes, and he's supposed to be able to correctly identify it. I'm thinking, whatever this is meant to diagnose, Nikki definitely has it. Now listen, I give her a hard time. Nikki might not be book smart, but she is street smart. Sesame Street smart. So the main way to treat this, and our dad shied away from it for quite some time, is to actually talk. So Jeanette got him involved in something called Talk Tuesdays. It's this virtual group, and they meet and they just have a topic of discussion every week. So it's 40 people with aphasia, and again, they're basically a support group, and they meet virtually. Now you hear that and you think, oh, that's very nice. I hear that and think, could you imagine facilitating that meeting? 40 people with aphasia. Okay, we're gonna go around the room today. You're gonna introduce yourself. My name is Ed. Let's start with you. Okay, meeting over. So listen, those of you who see our dad when you run into him, be patient and bring a snack because you might be there a while. Dan's back again, as I mentioned. Dan, good to see you. Samantha and Dan are still dating. Although, do you really call it dating at this age, or do you call it running out the clock together? I'm still convinced this relationship is court ordered for Dan. So while Samantha and Dan were in Italy this summer, our dad had a follow-up with one of his Cleveland Clinic doctors. And he's going through the meeting or the virtual follow-up, and at the end she says, Ed, I got to do a virtual exam for you. So again, I'm there, and he says, I got to hold the iPad, and basic things, blink, stick out your tongue, breathe. And when that was over and we finished the meeting, I said, Dad, this is fine, but we are not doing a virtual visit for your prostate exam. So as was mentioned, Nikki and Ryan are parents, and honestly, and you mentioned about your son, right? Yeah. And I thought you said it well, and I already forget what you said. You said that basically the grandkids, Ella and Nico, really have breathed life into our parents because they weren't staying around for us three, believe me. So they love having those two around, and they have been a true blessing for our parents over the last couple of years. And I haven't forgot about you, Mom. Now to the main event. So as they mentioned, a couple weeks ago, our mom was in the hospital for the second time this year. So she had a kidney infection. I gotta look at this list, it's long. Kidney infection, blood infection, and she had a kidney stone about the size of a dime. And this was the second time this year she was in the hospital for similar issues. And the challenge is she's obviously dependent on someone to get her to the restroom. So naturally, she doesn't drink as many liquids as she should, and because she doesn't drink liquids, then she's at risk for these infections and the kidney stones. So it's kind of this bad cycle. And plus, with the MS, her receptors are off, her pain receptors. So her pain might be a 4 or 5, and she really feels it at maybe a 0 or 1. So all this kind of compounds for her. And when she's there, she needs to have someone with her 24/7 because she needs someone to do everything for her. And the first time she was in there, which I'll talk about here in a moment, Samantha and I really took that one. But this last time, we had a lot of help. And a lot of people really stepped up. Now, 2 of them that are not here, Anna and Marco, they came to the hospital to be with our mom, to help her with what she needed. Mary, we get a little wave. Okay, Mary's back there. Mary's one of our good family friends. Mary took time, came out, and stayed with our mom. And then also, who's that woman? Oh, Jamie. Where you at, Jamie? Okay, there she is. Jamie, and Jamie did too. Jamie came, and we have tons of people that are willing to help, but for Mary and Jamie's our mom's niece, our cousin, they came out and really helped to ease it on us, us 3 children. So they were very big help. But the 3 I really want to highlight in addition to them is, first of all, Samantha. So Samantha honestly spearheads it all. She knows exactly what's going on with our mom. She has everything organized, and we give her a hard time about it, but she really leads the care for our mom and makes a big difference. She knows everything that's going on, everything that should be going on. And she got her mom to the hospital. She stayed with her for quite some time. And then also our Aunt Leanne. Where's Aunt Leanne? Our mom's sister, Aunt Leanne. Anytime we need someone to help with our mom, she is always willing to do it. If she is available, she is there. But the last person we're going to mention is Julie. You guys stand up for us real quick, okay? Julie needs a round of applause. Again, as much as, Samantha, my aunt, and Nikki, they do so much for our mom, but Julie is a godsend. So our mom has care every single day. Someone comes into the house, and Monday through Friday, each morning for a couple hours to get her ready. And Julie takes a lot of the evenings. And her aides, if they ever cancel in the morning, she is always willing to get there. If she can get there, she will be there. She is, honestly, she's too nice. It worries me how nice she is. She cares for our mom so much. She does so much for her, being here tonight with her. So Julie has been an absolute blessing, but it takes a huge collection of people to help care for our mom. And we are honestly, truly grateful for all the people that have been brought into our lives to help with her. And some of the other ones are Kizo. They provide home health nursing and physical therapy. And Leah, is Leah here this evening? Okay, Leah. So another thing, our mom gets massages. So the typical process is we'd have to take our mom to go get her massage. So someone would have to go to the house, and it's a process just to get her in the van. We get her in the van, we take her there. One of us other siblings has to meet there to help get her on the table. Well, now Leah took the initiative. She comes to my parents' house, and even something as simple as that takes a 2-hour process down to an hour process, from our mom having to leave the house to not having to leave the house now. So all those really help. Cassie, who's recording right now, Kathleen and Cassie come visit, and Cassie also now does our mom's facials at the house. So again, all these people willing to come and offer services, inconvenience themselves, and they do it because they love her. And Pam, our mom's hairdresser, she's here. So my mom loves going to see Pam and spending time with her and getting that fancy haircut that she gets. So again, thank you to all those people. You all make such a difference, and we really appreciate your help. Now, as I mentioned, our mom was in the hospital twice this year. So the first time around, Samantha and I kind of spearheaded staying with her 24/7. We took shifts. So Samantha got her there, spends the day, spends the first night, spends the next morning. Now, you're wondering where it was Nikki. Nikki was 5 months pregnant. Apparently at 5 months you can't go to a hospital, but at 9 months you can. So you figured that one out. So Samantha's texting us. Now, you know Samantha, she hates the mornings. So the fact that I woke up early in the morning to a text from Samantha, I thought, oh boy, this wasn't good. So she's texted us about a rough night. Her mom was snoring, and she just needed her arm rub a couple times. I thought, oh, that's easy. Our son Nico trained us for this. I can be up every hour. So that's nothing. So I get there the next day. That next evening, I'm going to spend the night. This was the first sign that there was going to be an issue that night. I walk in the room, I said, Mom, how you feeling? And you know what my mom said to me? I'm having sexual urges. And I wish I was making this up. I would never. That is seared in my head. If you said, Brent, what are the top 10 things you never want to hear your mother say? That's 1 through 10. So, I think this is why kids need therapy. Okay, so we get ready for bed that night. You know, Samantha leaves, we get ready for bed. I said, Mom, I'm gonna lay down to sleep. My head hit that pillow. And my mom goes, Brent! She goes, I need my arm rubbed. I said, okay, I'll come rub your arm. Rub her arm, lay down. Brent! I need my arm rubbed. I go rub her arm. I mean, this goes on and on and on. So I go down to that nurse's station. I said, listen, did you give her that medicine? She said, yeah, it'll kick in soon. I said, okay. So I go back down there, lay back down to bed, and it all starts over again. You know, so I go back down to the nurse station again. I said, listen, I said, it's not working. I said, what would you give a rhinoceros? Give her double. And he says, it'll kill her. I said, well. But fortunately, we had some visitors that night. I didn't have visitors. My mom had visitors. She was hallucinating pretty good. Adam and Anthony, our cousins, were there. Yeah, you guys showed up. Some of her former students showed up. And Guy Fieri showed up. You know, blonde tips, flaming shirt. Basically, if Brandon was wearing it, had blonde tips right now. So Guy Fieri shows up, and Guy was doing something he shouldn't be doing. She kept saying, Guy, your reputation. Guy, your reputation. So I don't know what he was doing over there. So Samantha comes back the next morning, and she says, she could tell. She goes, tough night. She goes, I know that bed's tough to sleep on. I said, oh yeah, could have been that, or the fact that our mother just waged mental warfare on me. The prisoners at Guantanamo Bay have it easier than I did that night. Listen, if you want to extract information from terrorists, just put them in a room with our mom while she's shaking off a UTI. Now, it never fails. Someone's going to tell me. Yeah, and that was it. And that was the end of my shift. All right. So it'll never fail. Someone will tell me after, you were too difficult on your parents. Listen, they dressed me in corduroy pants and turtlenecks. And my mom would tuck those turtlenecks in so tight it was like I was wearing a V-neck. They're getting off easy, believe me. Now, one thing that our mom has had taken away from her that she really misses to this day, she always said she would still be doing is teaching. And so MS has taken that from her. And but what you didn't know, those who didn't know she was a teacher, but what none of you knew is our mom was also a fashion designer. So where we grew up, we had a lot of trees in the backyard, and this time of year we'd rake those leaves and we'd bring them to the front yard. Not this time. Our mom said, bring some of those leaves in the house. So we bring the leaves in the house, and laying out on the bed are 3 brown jogging suits. And our mom proceeds to iron the leaves onto the jogging suits. And then she says, we got to run to the store. We thought, oh my God, somebody's going to see us. So of course she runs into someone that you know. There we are, 3 brown jogging suits, leaves all on our sweatshirts, and says, are these your kids? She said, yeah, this is oak, maple, and hickory. So this is it right here, all right? So I'll finally be sincere. So life does have a certain amount of unfairness built in. And you can choose to be bitter, resentful, or grateful for everything God has blessed you with. And despite all the challenges our parents have faced and continue to face, they do know how lucky they are. So thankfully our parents have a very healthy attitude about life. They know their circumstances could be worse. And it's not lost on any of us that everyone in this room has their own challenges. So thank you for all of your support, and we're truly grateful.